Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diego Knows. I am Diego. And today I just wanted to take this time to talk about something very dear to my heart, comic book movies. Okay. Now, comic books are my favorite thing in the whole world. Okay. I grew up reading comic books. They taught me how to read, they taught me how to draw. Love superhero movies. And luckily for me, in the past 20 years, superhero movies have been the thing. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have very much. I mean, we had the Michael Keaton Batman, which was great back then, but when you look at it now, it's really stupid and cheesy. We had the Superman movies, which are still hold up today. The original Supermans. I mean, 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. Those sucked. But you really didn't have very many options. Superhero movies weren't a big thing back, when I was growing up, back in the 70s, the 80s. And it was very limited. Like in the '90s, we had the piece of shit Batman movies, and shit like Tank Girl and Judge Dredd. Well, I liked Judge Dredd, but nobody else did. Okay, and I understand why they didn't like it. Okay, Time Cop and The Mask. The Mask was good, but just stuff like that. Like it wasn't really big. It wasn't until the Renaissance when Blade came out in '98, I think it was. Wesley Snipes did Blade. That was the first like superhero comic book movie that made money. People are like, oh wow, this happened, and then right after that, comes X-Men and then Spider-Man, and then the ball got rolling. Then everyone started doing it, right? Well, what I want to talk about today is the Zack Snyder universe. Now, the only reason I'm talking about this is because I've been watching a lot of podcasts, listening to podcasts, been watching a lot of YouTube channels, and a lot of people that are like me, that are into the comic books, into the comic book movies, grew up reading the comics, the cartoons. We grew up with this stuff, okay? So this stuff's very dear to us. Like for me, Spider-Man's very dear to me. Because I grew up, that was my first superhero I ever loved. That was the first, superhero in my life, was Spider-Man, and still my favorite to this day. And he's still popular to this day. Go figure, right? But anyway, I want to talk about the Zack Snyder universe because the basis of all superheroes comes from Superman. He was the first one. Then everything else is a copy of Superman, including Batman, Spider-Man, the Avengers. All those are copies of Superman. Now, you can make the argument that Superman wasn't really the first superhero. There were other superheroes before Superman. They just weren't called superheroes. They were called mystery men. I'm talking about Zorro, Doc Savage, the original Man of Steel. They call him the Man of Bronze, but he had a Fortress of Solitude, just like Superman did. And his name was Clark. Go figure, right? So we had the Phantom, we had the Shadow. There was lots of characters that existed before, the Clark Kent Superman. But like I said, they weren't called superheroes. Superman was the first one was called a superhero. The word superhero comes from Superman's name. Okay, so that should be a clue right there as to who the first superhero was. So Superman's the first one. So if you don't get Superman right, you can't really get the rest of them right, in my opinion. Okay, so if you're going to make a DC universe, you got to get Superman right first. Not Batman, get Superman right first. Get him right, then you can build on the foundation. Just like the comic book industry was built on the foundation of Superman, the DC extended universe should be built on the foundation of Superman. So you gotta get that one right first, okay? Nothing against the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. They were great movies, incredible. I mean, Dark Knight's one of the best movies ever made. But you can't really build a Superman in that universe because that was too realistic. It's too close to our universe, I'm from Chicago, okay? And Dark Knight was filmed in Chicago, okay? I recognize every place in there, okay? My God, the Bruce Wayne's penthouse was Hotel 71. My girlfriend was a concierge there, okay? I used to work across the street, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that the Batman movies, the Christopher Nolan movies, were very realistic, and Superman can't exist in that world. Okay, so you got to make a world that would allow the possibility of, a man from Krypton living amongst us. So, Zack Snyder, they hired him, okay? Now, Zack Snyder had a background. He was doing music videos, I think, and then he did like some remake of Dawn of the Dead or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. I didn't follow him before this. The first time I heard about Zack Snyder was 300. Now I've read Frank Miller before, and I read 300. I thought it was pretty good. I remember when I was a kid, my stepfather he watched those sword and sandal movies from the early '60s, like Jason the Argonauts and shit. And one of them they did a 300 because 300 Spartans. And my stepdad made me watch it. And it was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't as good as 300, but it's the same story. The Battle of Thermopylae. The 300 Spartans against the Persians. So but I remember seeing that when I was a kid, and I read a little bit about them in history. Like they were a bunch of badasses, And if you know the Iliad, the Battle of Troy, where the Greeks fought the Trojans, one of the kings, the king of Sparta, Helen was his wife, Menelaus. It was his wife that what's his name, Paris stole away from him and took to Troy, and that's the reason the Trojan War started. Okay, so Sparta's been around for a while. All right, so I knew about the 300. I knew they were badass. Then I saw that movie. And oh my God, that movie blew me away. It was damn good. I mean, he had some really good talent in there. A lot of people forget. Yeah, I mean, what's his name was I can't remember his name right now, but the guy that played King Leonidas, Gerard Butler. Yeah, I mean, everyone remembers him, but a lot of people forget that you also have Michael Fassbender in there. Lena Headey was in there. You had some good names in that movie. And so that movie was visual masterpiece, and the story was really good because what Zack Snyder did is he did what Robert Rodriguez did in Sin City. Okay, he took Frank Miller's comic book and he held it in one hand, then he directed the movie with the other hand. Okay, so the comic book matched the movie exactly, panel for panel, and that's what Zack Snyder did. He took a tip from Robert Rodriguez, and he did the same thing. Frank Miller wrote and drew this book called 300. He held it up in one hand and he filmed that in the other. So that's why it was really good. It was a great story. The foundation was great. The story was great. The visuals were already there. The whole movie had already been storyboarded for him before he even filmed anything. So he had a great idea. All you had to do was you get some airbrush to paint some abs on some people, and have them going out there, boom, 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 And yeah, and talk about testosterone. That was a good shit, man. 300 is great. Great fucking movie, man. Blows me away to this day. Great movie. I mean, you took a historical event and you upgraded it to something fantastical, which was really cool. Very manly, very muscular. I love that shit, I mean, I was in the Marines, okay? And we used to listen to that, before we would go out on patrol. Stupid shit like that. But anyway, so that came out, and that was really good. So I liked Zack Snyder after that. And then I found out, while they were making 300, I found out in the bonus features, he mentioned that his next movie is going to be Watchmen. Now, those of you who don't know, Watchmen is basically the greatest comic book ever made. Okay, the greatest comic book ever made. All right, I can't go into it right now. I mean, I could talk for hours about the significance of Watchmen, what it did to the industry, how it treats superheroes, how it tells the kind of story it tells. I mean, there's so many different levels on Watchmen. I'm not going to go into that now, but Zack Snyder did the movie for Watchmen. Okay, which not a lot of people saw, which really bothered me. Because it was a really good movie. I mean, I've seen the 3.5 hour version. I have it here. Okay, I mean, there's a lot in that book, and only maybe 15% of it came across in the movie. There was so much other stuff in that book. If you watch the 3.5 hour version that I have here, which got all these bonus features included in with the story, it's got the whole cartoon about the pirate cartoon, and it's got the documentaries in there. Then maybe you'll get about 30%, maybe 35% of the book if you watch the 3.5 hour version. But otherwise, the only way to really experience Watchmen, to understand Watchmen, is to read it. Okay, it was never meant to be a movie. Alan Moore wrote it. He never meant it to be a movie. It was meant to be a comic book, a 12-issue comic book. And that's all it was meant to be. It was meant to tell a story, and that was it. It was not meant to have sequels. It was not meant to have toys made out of it or any of this shit. It was a one and done. Okay, but it became this incredible phenomenon because people that didn't read comic books, that book got them into reading comic books. And you realize that you can tell a very adult, very graphic story with many undertones, many different levels, a lot of subdivision, a lot of allegories going on at the same time, different ways of looking at the world, different ways of looking not just at these characters, but at people in general, society in general, psychology. I mean, when you really think about what kind of people would put on a costume and go fight crime at night. Yeah, not someone who's all there. Okay, I remember the biggest thing I got out of Watchmen was when I was a kid. I loved superheroes, and when I was a little kid, I fantasized about being a superhero, like most little kids did, And I came into reading The Watchmen. Our roommate turned me onto it. It came out in the '80s, but I didn't read it till the '90s. Like I said, I was a hardcore Marvel fan. I wasn't really reading DC, and this was a DC book with characters I didn't know about. I thought it was gonna be boring. But in the '90s, my roommate turned me onto it. Like, hey, you need to read this. And I read it. Oh my God! I went in there wishing I'd been a superhero. When I finished that book, I was so happy that I was not a superhero. Like I never wanted to be a superhero. After reading that, I would never want to be a superhero. I would never want to live in that world. But yeah, it was a profound effect. So you're talking about the best comic book ever made, and this guy decides to make a movie out of it, and he did. And I think he did a pretty good job. I mean, in some cases, he did better than the book. Like with the action. Like there's scenes in there where like Night Owl and Silk Spectre, they're breaking Rorschach out of prison. And in the book, like the fight scene in the book with the prisoners is like 1 or 2 panels, and that's it. But in the movie, it's like this 3-minute sequence of martial arts and slow-mo and, boom, like boom, a lot of that stuff, which was better. Okay, stuff like that. Stuff that was better, you know. Um, but like I said, he could only do maybe 30%, 35% if you get the extended, 3.5 hour version. Yeah, then he maybe did 35% of the book was covered, and the rest of it you just had to read the book to really experience Watchmen. But he did the best he could, considered the framework, And unfortunately, the movie didn't do very well, and because these are not characters that are well known. They're not characters that are well known. These were they got the rights to Charlton Characters, which is a comic book company that not a lot of people read it, but there's some famous characters out of it. Anyway, DC bought the rights to all those characters, and they couldn't use those characters. They couldn't use Captain Atom or the Thunderbolt or Peacemaker, which they have a TV show of him now, or the Question, or who is it? Dr. Manhattan, but Captain Atom. These are all characters. Blue Beetle. These are all characters from the Charlton. They couldn't use them, so the Alan Moore decided, okay, I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use their archetypes. So instead of Blue Beetle, we get a Night Owl. Instead of the Question, we get Rorschach. Instead of Peacemaker, the John Cena Peacemaker. Instead of him, we get the Comedian. Who is who plays him? The guy from Walking Dead. The guy who played Batman's dad. What the hell's his name? Some Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yeah. So instead of John Cena, we get Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian. Instead of Nightshade, we get Silk Spectre. Instead of Captain Atom, we get Dr. Manhattan. So that's basically what they did. Instead of Thunderbolt, you get Ozymandias. So that's what they did. And but these were not famous characters. Like I said, they were one and dones. Not all the characters survived till the end of the story, so you couldn't really do anything else with them. And Alan Moore never wanted to do anything. And honestly, to be honest with you, nobody should ever do anything with these characters anymore. I mean, it is a one and done story. I don't want to see Dr. Manhattan again. I don't want to see any of these characters again. The ones that survive, I do not want to see what happens to them in their 50s or their 60s or their kids. I don't really give a shit. The story had its purpose. It told its story. And that's why that piece of shit fucking Watchmen HBO miniseries that I saw was just, all it was fucking critical race theory identity politics. That's all the fuck it was. Everyone's a racist. That's all the fuck it was. It was a piece of shit. They never should have made it. But that's neither here nor there. Zack Snyder wasn't involved in that. The point is, The Watchmen was an incredible effort, but unfortunately, it wasn't as successful because you had no famous superheroes in there. Okay. The next thing he does after that, they decided to give him the keys to the DC universe because Marvel was doing so well with the Avengers, with all that stuff. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Avengers came out. That was a huge, huge hit. I mean, $1.5 million. I mean, that was a lot back then. Okay. Back in 2012, if a movie hit $1 billion, everyone was like, holy shit, oh my God, Now it's like $2 billion. But back then it was $1 billion, okay? And Avengers did 1.5. So you can imagine how excited Marvel Comics was. And Marvel was the thing to beat, So DC like, oh my God, we got Batman, we got Superman. We're not pulling in that kind of Batman pulled in $1 billion. I don't think Dark Knight Rises did, but I know The Dark Knight did over $1 billion. So they're trying to get that kind of money. So okay, we gotta get our own Avengers, okay? So they do the Justice League, which in comic books, the Justice League came out before the Avengers. So we gotta do a Justice League, right? Which for those of us who are my age, okay, the Super Friends, okay, that's the Justice League. Not that show from the early 2000s called Justice League. It's actually the Justice League of America. But because, of politics, you can't say Justice League of America anymore because that sounds racist or something. To be proud of your country is racist. So they just call it Justice League. Same reason you can't say, truth, justice, the American way. You can't say that anymore because, America. Because if you love your country, that means you're automatically a racist. So anyway, I digress. The point is that they had to get Superman off the ground to build this Justice League because Marvel's got Avengers, they're going to do Justice League, right? So they do Man of Steel. Okay, now look, Henry Cavill, great choice. I think he did really good. The hardest thing you can do with a Superman is you got to wear that costume and not look stupid at it, not look like you're going to a birthday party. Okay, Christopher Reeve can pull it off. But very few people could pull it off. I'm sorry, but George Reeves, the Superman from the TV show, could not pull it off. Okay, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love that show. My grandpa loved that show, but that was the 1950s Superman, and I'm sorry, it looked like a middle-aged man in fucking underwear. Okay, sorry, it did. But Chris Reeve pulled it off. Same outfit too, and he pulled it off. Go figure. And Henry Cavill pulled it off. However, so he can do it. He's got the range. He looks like Superman. He's got the range to do it. That was the best thing about the movie. General Zod was awesome. He was the only person in that movie I think was having a good time. You know, I mean, he was just over the top, like, I will kill you! You know, I mean, he was just crazy, okay? Michael Shannon went for it, okay? And he did a great job. Because he went for it, he did a great job. But the rest of the movie, let's face it, was mediocre. I mean, what's her name? Amy Adams was a mediocre. Lois Lane, I'm sorry, but I like my Lois Lane to be a little better looking. No offense to Amy Adams, but come on. You got one of the greatest looking men in the world there, and then you got an average looking girl. No, I'm not going to buy that. I mean, Margot Kidder was sexy. Okay, Margot Kidder was sexy. She was legit sexy. Okay, but yeah, even like Terry Hatcher looked good. Terry Hatcher looked good on the Superman show. But as far as Lois Lane goes, you know, you got to get someone. You got to get a sexy reporter, and Amy Adams just ain't doing it for me. Sorry, nothing against her personally, but she just ain't doing it for me. You got the Man of Steel here, and then you got like the average reporter. Not doing it. But the point is, they made Man of Steel, which was a mediocre movie. Okay, it wasn't terrible. It could have been terrible, but the only thing that really saved the movie was Michael Shannon and what's his name, Superman. Well, I can't even think of his name right now. I just said it too. But anyway, he was great. Okay, Henry Cavill. Sorry. Okay, but the movie was too dark. Okay, it was too dark. Dark does not work for Superman. Okay, Superman is not a dark character. He's a bright character. Batman is a dark character. Superman is not a dark character. Superman is optimistic. He's in the sunlight. He's smiling. He inspires people. He gives them hope. Okay, there was no hope in that fucking movie. Okay, first of all, the color. Okay, everything was muted. Okay, the colors were all gray and blue. Okay, Henry Cavill's costume, that wasn't a Superman costume. Okay, that was like a navy blue fucking surfer outfit. Okay. With a maroon cape and a little bit of orange on the chest. That's not Superman. Superman is red, white, and yellow. Okay? Not maroon / brown, you know, navy blue, and a little bit of orange. That's not Superman. So the costume looked like shit. Okay? The whole idea of everything being dark, you know, everything was so dark, you know, and then of course, you know, Zack Snyder's got this fascination with penises. You know, he kept showing penises. We had to see the baby's Superman's penis as a baby, and then the Phantom Zone is comprised of dildos. Like you get frozen in a dildo, in a big fucking dildo. Why do I want to see that? It's a Superman movie, for Christ's sake. Kids are supposed to watch this movie. You know, Jonathan Kent was a total asshole. This is the guy that raised Superman. He's a fucking asshole. He's telling Clark Kent, yeah, you need to let those kids die. Okay, because it's more important that nobody knows about your powers. So if people need to die right in front of you, you let them die. Like what kind of message is that to teach your kid, the most powerful person on the planet? Is that really a good message you want to teach them? No. Superman walks around the world. He goes on his quest to find himself like Bruce Wayne did, but he's not Bruce Wayne. No, he's only working at a diner and shit. Like he's like working on an oil rig. Like why the fuck would Superman do that? Okay, he should be like in college getting a degree in journalism. You know, that's what he should be doing, fitting in with humanity, not going away from humanity. You know, the fact that all these kids saw him pick up that bus that went in the river, all these kids saw him do that. And like nobody, like you don't have fucking like, you know, Unsolved Mysteries over there doing a documentary? I mean, come on. That's crazy. You know, when the Phantom Zone criminals attack, they threaten the whole planet, but they only attack one little shithole town in Kansas. Like that should give you, and they say turn over the Kryptonian. He's hiding amongst you. And where do they go? They only go one place. They go to Smallville, Kansas. They only attack one house, the Kent family farm. Okay? You don't have to be fucking Batman to figure out who Superman is, okay? Whoa. The one address that the Kryptonians attacked. Who lives there? I wonder. Oh, okay. There's this kid here who picked up a bus and everybody saw him do it. Maybe could he be? I don't know, but let's open up the newspaper here. Okay, let's see here. Clark Kent, Superman there, and then there's Clark Kent there, and they both look exactly alike. Ah, that can't be him. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, Ripley don't believe that shit. And then the fight with Zod takes place in the middle of the city. Like at one point, they're fighting in space. Superman could not have moved the fight. I mean, I know it wouldn't have been visually as stunning, you know, like Ghostbusters Afterlife, where the whole thing takes place in a fucking desert. Who gives a shit about a desert farmhouse, you know? I know, but just for practical reasons, you know, I mean, why would Superman fight Kryptonians in the middle of downtown Metropolis? Okay, the collateral damage alone was thousands of innocent people died. I mean, their buildings are collapsing. There's people in there. You know, I mean, Batman vs Superman kind of hinted at it, you know, in the opening scene where Bruce Wayne's running into Metropolis. Why? How the fuck is he going to save anybody? He's just one man. But the point is that, you know, all these innocent people died during that battle in Metropolis. Okay? Now, I know Superman saved more people from dying because he stopped Zod. But the fact that the fight took place in the middle of the city in downtown Metropolis should never have happened. Superman should have moved, because Zod's going to fight him. Superman should have moved the fight to the ocean or to the desert or fuck it, to the moon. But get away from these innocent people. You know, Superman would never fight there. Remember Superman 2? That's exactly what happened. The Phantom Zone criminals attacked Metropolis. Superman ran away. He ran away because he wanted to, not because he gave up. He was afraid. He wasn't. He ran away to get the Kryptonians to follow him. That way they can fight in his preferred location rather than their preferred location. And that's what this Superman should have done. But he didn't do that. You know why? Because he didn't give a shit. Oh, they made a big deal. He saved a family? Like, that family could easily run away. Like, he didn't save anybody. You know, and everyone made a big deal about him killing Zod. Well, yeah, he killed Zod. I don't think that was that big of a deal. He had to kill this guy. But also, like, those kids could have... I mean, the family there, they were, like, hiding behind the heat ray. They could have ran away. They could have just kept running, and they wouldn't have got hit. I mean, we picked this moment to see him saving a family. What about all the families that just died in the collateral damage from the battle that he had with Zod? He basically destroyed downtown Metropolis. There's the scene in there where Perry White and his intern, and they're running away, you know, and you can see all the buildings collapsing behind him. It's, like, insane, you know? And then there's a scene there where Lois is there in a big battle, you know, in the middle, and Perry White is there, or should I call him Perry Black? But anyway, he's there, like, and he's standing maybe 10 feet away from Lois and Superman. He's standing 10 feet away from them. You know, they actually kiss each other. Okay? And then at the end of the movie, Clark Kent he hires Clark Kent and does not recognize this guy with the glasses is the exact same guy that she saw kissing Lois Lane back when the city was destroyed. He didn't recognize him. Get the fuck out of here. No one believes this stuff, okay? And then, to make it even worse, that wasn't bad enough. At the end of the movie, he destroys a satellite that was spying on him, and he comes back to Earth, and he talks to General Lennox, who later on we find out is Martian Manhunter. But he tells everyone there, all the army guys that are there, okay, he tells all of them, hey, he's like, General, I grew up in Kansas. I'm as American as everyone else. Okay, well, like I said, you don't have to be Batman to figure this out. Okay, the Kryptonians attacked Kansas. That's the only place on Earth they attacked besides Metropolis. They attacked Kansas. They attacked one farmhouse, the Kent family farmhouse. If anyone did research, they would figure out that the son, Clark Kent, who there is no birth certificate on, because remember, they found him, he wasn't born, okay? That this kid picked up a bus and everyone in class all the kids in the bus saw him do it. Okay, this guy. Where was this guy when Zod attacked? Don't know. Where was he? We don't know. Okay? Who is this guy? Clark Kent. What does he look like? Let's go talk to him right now. Oh my God! You look just like Superman! You see what I mean? Okay, so that was bad. Anyway. And that kind of took me out of it. And Superman shouldn't be dour. He shouldn't be, oh God. I don't know what to do with my life. I just don't know. And it gets worse. The next movie Zack Snyder does is Batman v Superman, which, let's face it, was a piece of shit. It wasn't even mediocre like Man of Steel was. It was a piece of shit. Okay? They were trying so hard to catch up with... Zack Snyder was trying so hard to catch up with Marvel that they tried to cram in way too much into one movie. Okay, Zack Snyder was a poor choice to be in charge of the DCEU. He really was. They never should have given him control of the DCEU. Not because he's not a comic book fan, but I think he's read maybe a few comic books, and that's it. He doesn't really understand these characters. They did an interview with Zack Snyder where he said, my Batman will get raped in prison. Like, what the fuck? Your Batman would get raped in prison? Who the fuck wants to see that? And they're going to give you a Batman movie? Are you out of your fucking mind? But he said that in an interview. Look it up. So they give Batman v Superman. So now we're getting a new Batman, okay? Like we just had, Christian Bale 4 years ago, and now we're getting Ben Affleck, who I know everyone's making fun of, but he actually did pretty good in the movie. He was like probably the best part of the movie. Honestly, I thought his Bruce Wayne was pretty good. You could tell this guy was an angry motherfucker. He looked like a dangerous man. Even when he was in a Bruce Wayne persona, you didn't want to fuck with him. Which was good. I like that. I like that. But that's pretty much it. The movie was a piece of shit in all different ways. Superman was way too depressed and upset. I don't know what to do with my life. Like he's always sullen and melancholy and brooding. Like he's just standing there with his head down, and Lois is trying to, talk him out of his funk. When they blow up the White House, during the congressional hearings, while all these people are burning to death around, he's just like, I'm like, why don't you fucking help some survivors? Use your fucking super breath. Blow this fucking fire out. Help some people. And he's just standing there while the flames are going all around him. Like, what the hell? What the hell kind of Superman is this? And then Batman's over here mowing down motherfuckers with a 50 cal. What the fuck? Batman hates guns. And he's over here killing them. We know because we saw his parents get murdered in the opening credits for like the 16th time. It's like the Easter show. They have to do it every year. We have to see his. We all know how he became Batman. Okay, we don't have to see it every fucking new movie. We gotta watch his parents get killed again. But so he's over here blowing away people. And then he's scarring, he's branding them with a Batman sign, which means that when they go to jail and they got the Batman sign, they're gonna get raped in prison and killed. So he's murdering them that way too. It's insane. It's just crazy. Superman was not being super at all. He was depressed. He was boring. He wants to fucking. He's more concerned with fucking Lois in a bathtub than he is with saving survivors. That's just not. That's not my Superman. Even when he's saving lives, like when he's carrying that ship, or when he's picking up that shuttle that was about to blow up, he looks like he's fucking like bored out of his mind. Like, God damn it, fucking, I got to save another motherfucker. Even when he rescues that girl during the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead celebration, when they're all the Mexicans are trying to touch him like he's a god. Even then, he looks like annoyed and shit. Like, what the fuck, all these fucking Hispanics fucking trying to touch me for? Oh my god. Go watch fucking Coco. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm just like, dude, this is not this guy doesn't inspire shit. And then the whole logic by, I'm after Batman because Batman's breaking the law. He's trying to catch criminals and he's not a cop. Well, guess what the fuck are you doing too? You're both doing the same fucking thing. Why do you hate him? It makes no sense. And then, of course, Batman, there's even a 1% chance that this guy could kill us. We have to take it as absolute certainty. I get it. His whole, Wayne Tower was destroyed in Metropolis. The fact that Metropolis and Gotham City are right next to each other is kind of fucked up. So Superman will patrol Metropolis, but he won't cross the river to go to Gotham City. Gotham City's got the highest crime rate in the world. That's why they got Batman, right? But Superman's right on the other side of the river, but he's not gonna cross jurisdiction. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, moving right along. So it's just ridiculous. Batman was ridiculous. The fact that he would kill people, he's a badass. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's a badass. Like, he kicks a lot of ass. But that fucking suit, I call him Fat Man because that suit was just terrible. I know they got it from The Dark Knight Returns, but that's supposed to be about like a 55 or 60-year-old Batman, And I know Ben Affleck's around that age, but Batman, when he's fighting crime, he shouldn't look like that. Unless he's got gray hair and he's old. He would look like that, but this is Fat Man. Way too much padding. Like, how can you fucking move in that? You can't even move your arms, I mean, even when he wears that same suit in the Justice League movie, he looks fat. Compared to everyone else, he's like fat. Like, he can barely move his arms, barely move his legs. Like, how can you even bend your knees in that fucking thing? It doesn't look like he could fight with it, I mean, he does in the movie, but it just looks very uncomfortable. Like, he can't really move in that suit. There's too much padding in it. Way too much padding. And I didn't like the design, he's got the stubble and shit. Just get the fuck out of here. This isn't the Dark Knight. He's still supposed to be active. He's not supposed to be retired and then putting the suit on again after years. He's supposed to have been active the whole time. And we get glimpses of like Robin died. Well, Joker must kill Robin, whatever. And then now we get Lex Luthor. Fucking horrible. Lex Luthor was a piece of shit. He was fucking horrible. That wasn't Lex Luthor. That was some fucking beta male fucking the Riddler. With this long fucking hair. Yeah, Lex Luthor's bald. He's got long fucking floppy hair. Do you know what? I think that you and you should get together. Oh my God, we're doing all sorts of things here. The fucker can't even make a speech. And did you know that because that would be a paradox? And enjoy the party. He can't even fucking finish a sentence. He can't even fucking finish a speech. And this is supposed to be the big bad. And then Wonder Woman shows up for like a half a second, just to look hot. And then leave. Oh, and she flies Turkish Airways. Okay. Good for her. Turkish Airways. I know she's Israeli and she's playing a Greek girl, but so what? Who gives a fuck? Anyway. She's there just to be there. Okay? Whatever. So Lex Luthor just fucking sucked. I mean, everything about him sucked. I mean, he sends piss to senators, like a jar of piss to a senator. Really? Really? Miss Incredible gets Elastigirl gets a fucking jar of piss at the Senate hearings. I mean, that was a real joke in the movie. Yeah. All sorts of things wrong with him. The fact he knew Batman was Bruce Wayne, and he didn't use that to his advantage. He knew Clark Kent was Superman. He never used that to his advantage. Come on. Like, what the fuck? How'd you even know this stuff? How'd you learn this stuff? I mean, Clark Kent works for a fucking newspaper, and he's got them fooled. And they're supposed to be investigative journalists, and they don't even know. How the fuck did Lex Luthor find out? And they killed Jimmy Olsen in the very beginning of the movie. Why? Why'd you kill Jimmy Olsen? That's Superman's pal. You killed him off in the very beginning of the movie. He doesn't even work for the Daily Planet. He was a CIA guy, pretending to be a photographer. And then Superman killed that black terrorist in the very beginning of the movie. And they try to frame Superman for murdering all those people with bullets? Really? Bullets that can only be traced back to Lex Luthor and nobody else? Who the fuck wrote this fucking shit? Why would Superman use bullets to kill people? Okay? Why would he use bullets to kill people? If he's gonna kill someone, he'll kill someone just like he did in that scene. He punched that guy right through the fucking wall. He tackled him right through the fucking 6 brick walls, okay? Yeah, that guy's dead. Threatened his girlfriend. It's Superman. He's killing people too. And then you had the bullshit scene for the Bruce Wayne's dreams of the future. Darkseid's going to take over. Well, no, come on. That shit wasn't even guaranteed. And they put that in there. Why'd you waste our time watching fucking Ezra Miller? It's too late. I'm too early. Like who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? This is fucking Flash. We don't even know who the fuck this Flash is yet. And then we get the fucking Batman sends Wonder Woman a fucking email. A fucking email, which is basically a soft trailer for the Justice League movie. Okay? And then so Wonder Woman's watching, and the whole world's going to shit because Doomsday got out, and he's gonna destroy the whole fucking world, right? Because nobody can stop him. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman takes a break to fucking open up her email that Batman Bruce Wayne sent her. So, we've got the logos right there. You got the Aquaman logo, the Flash logo, the Cyborg logo. Oh my God. Just saying this out loud is killing me. She's opening, and her own logo. She's got her World War I picture there. Do you realize that every time these superheroes go out and fight crime, they're going to have to pay Lex Luthor because he owns the copyright to their logos? Oh my God, yeah. Then yeah. We get some cameos. Now, when the movie was advertised, I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. It was called Batman v Superman. Then it was called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So I didn't know, okay, so what are we going to see? When I saw the trailer, Batman versus Superman, okay, are we doing Batman versus Superman, or are we doing the Dark Knight Returns? Because he's wearing the Dark Knight Returns outfit, and there is a scene in Dark Knight Returns, the book, where he fights Superman. And that's the armor that he wore, that I saw in the trailer. That's the same armor that he wore in the book. So are we really getting the Dark Knight Returns and not Batman v Superman? But then I see Doomsday. Oh, so are we getting the death of Superman too? Wait a minute. Then Wonder Woman shows up. So okay, so are we getting the Justice League? Because Wonder Woman's here too. And then all of a sudden we find out that that Jason Momoa and what's his name, Ezra Miller, and Ray Fisher, they're all gonna have cameos as their Justice League counterparts. So are we getting a Justice League movie too? Like what do we get? What movie are you making here? Because I have no idea what the fuck this movie is. You know, like I was legit concerned. Like, what's this movie? What movie is this movie gonna be about? Because I thought it was Batman versus Superman. You can make a whole movie with just that. You don't need anything else. You can make a whole movie with just Batman v Superman, and it ends up being like an 8-minute fight. You know, and then the kryptonite there, like. Why would Lex Luthor have kryptonite knowing that Batman was going to steal it? He knew Batman was going to steal it, and that's why he sacrificed all of his men and had his own fucking place broken into by Batman so he could steal the kryptonite. When he knew Batman was going to steal it, you know, the white Portuguese. Who gives a fuck about the white Portuguese? You know, and Alfred's there, but I mean, what does Alfred do other than make a few jokes about Bruce Wayne being single? You know, so what? They meet each other, they fight, which Batman wins, of course, because, you know, Batman's more popular than Superman. That's why he won. But I mean, come on, realistically, it would have been, this fight would have been over in 2 seconds, okay? And then, you know, Superman gets hit with kryptonite twice. He falls for it twice. You think after the first time he got hit with the kryptonite guy, he would know to avoid it? Nope. He walks right into it again a second time. And then we all know the famous Martha thing. So the movie sucked. And then Doomsday shows up. And you know, what was Lex Luthor's plan? Seriously, Doomsday was supposed to kill Superman. What happens if Doomsday kills Superman? How do you stop Doomsday now? He's gonna fucking destroy the whole world. Like, what the fucking kind of plan is that? What the fuck? Anyway, okay. All right. Well, that's enough for part 1 of my Zack Snyder review. We'll continue this in part 2, and thank you for watching.